welcome everybody, and let's welcome Naresh. He is the resource manager of Habitat for Humanity, which is an NGO, and he takes care of how many countries did you say, Naresh?
Well, I don't take care of, I mean, the organization is in 70 countries, and I help Habitat India to raise funds and, forge partnerships. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Tell us something more, Naresh.
Thanks, Sati. Yeah, I joined this organization 20 years ago. And primarily, we look at housing and toilets, good sanitation, because we believe a house is a basis for a life, for people to really grow in life in many, many aspects. And surprisingly and interestingly, the first project I handled in the planning, monitoring, evaluation department that I joined for South Asia was actually measuring the impact of housing on families beyond shelter. And so it's a very rewarding experience because we take things for granted, in a kind of our society and our backgrounds. Where a simple thing of having a door that you can open and close every day means we actually have a story where it meant the difference between a girl having an education and not. So there are a lot of wonderful stories which came in, and I was handling this for Asia Pacific. So I used to travel to countries, go down to our projects, interact with the families who had got these houses. And the stories were so touching and empowering because their lives had absolutely turned 180 degrees due to just a simple house. And now they could look forward to a future. And that's been a huge impact on my life, really. Because I think even now the BNI, the organization that I'm connected with, it is about helping people in a different way. It's about helping business people and small entrepreneurs and people who are just starting off, professionals. So it's like an extension of what I do with the NGO, but in the business world. And it's truly a blessing to be able to do that, really.
Yeah, it's quite amazing that you get to interact with so many different kinds of people and from all strata of society. There's a certain amount of courage and there's a certain amount of discipline, as well as a certain amount of compassion that you probably need to develop in your own life, and that's wonderful. What I would like to ask you, Naresh, is that I'm quite sure you're very skilled in many different ways. What is it that really drew you towards this workshop that we recently did together?
Actually, yeah, that's very interesting, the question you asked. One is, of course, I had been exposed to the law of attraction, like most people, I guess, through Rhonda Byrne's book, The Secret. And, but for me, it kind of, it remained an exciting kind of concept, but it remained in theory. So I was looking to see, how can this actually be harnessed? Now, for a couple of reasons. One was, of course, I wasn't in a very happy state in life in terms of there's always this feeling that there could be something more out of this, that I could do more. Like my immediate, kind of aspect, which we spoke about in the workshop, was my health, which kept on, occurring for various reasons. Also, what I'm dealing in, like with Habitat for Humanity. This whole deal of, why should it be, I mean, you spoke about being associated with an NGO and raising funds. So why should raising funds why should it be such a drudgery? Why should it be something which causes anxiety and what causes so much of stress? And why can't it be a smooth flowing kind of thing? So these were some of the things which I was looking at. And that's actually when I saw this thing. And like I said in the workshop, it was serendipitous. I don't even know Rishi actually. And I see his email one day and I said, let me just go for that one session. And then something said, I have to register for this. And I just went ahead and did it. So, maybe I was meant to do this. And I'm so glad I did, actually.
So what would be the one highlight for you from the workshop that you probably took back? What is it that really clicked with you, that aha moment that you have?
I think probably it was a third or the fourth session, I guess, where when you spoke about self-talk, the kind of negative self-talk that holds us back and kind of gives us, and that causes things to happen because we are sending out signals to the universe, even though we don't realize that. And the technique you taught us on how to actually handle it. I think that was very powerful. That was extremely powerful, and that's showing immediate results. So it's like a rekindling of the possibility in life just by like, applying that small little exercise. That probably was, I mean, there was so many aha moments. I think that was one of the major ones. Yeah.
So would you say that that exercise or that moment that you had changed something very significant for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this instead of agonizing over trying to solve a problem, I think the moment that mental shift to this kind of, which is what you introduced us to.
So, you know, have you ever been on any workshop like this before, or experienced something like that? Have you tried the law of attraction on your own and ever been stuck with it, or what has your experience been with law of attraction otherwise?
Technically, I wouldn't know whether it was the law of attraction at that time or whatever. I had done this program way back in 1992 called the Landmark Forum. You may be aware of
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And so I was connected with them really almost very closely for almost for 7 years or 8 years, where I did more programs, assisted with them. So that had a lot to do with clearings, about exactly the same thing, the conversation that we're carrying on. And
Right.
at that time, when I was in that program, it was like, I mean, when I was close to it, and I must say that it's my issue that my it's the way I kind of gave it up. It was nothing to do with the program per se, but it's around that time when the clearing was opened up, that suddenly I could connect. I could connect in many ways, and I had some miraculous kind of things, like you just thought about somebody, and that person would appear in some
Right.
form or the other, or you
Right.
actually could predict what was happening. So your word was actually what it is. So I had experienced that, and then I had lost it. So there was a kind of a decade or more that where but then it comes back to you. It's ingrained. It comes back to you at times, and I found that whenever I'm handling some project or I'm handling something, especially when it's in a crisis, I can switch to that mode where I say, okay, listen, I'm going to create something out. I'm going to make it happen. But then
Yeah.
again, there was no technology beyond that which was available. So I had to get back to something. And the law of attraction, when I read the book, I said, okay, this is also talking about the same thing, but in a certain very specific way. But again, there was nothing in terms of practicality in that. It was good to you try on your own to kind of, control your thoughts and your voices. And, I think you need a guru, you need a coach. I think that's very clear from this. So when this happened, so what happens is you have someone like you who's actually lived this for so long, and, I think you're a trained coach and a trainer. It makes a big difference. So read the book, see whatever videos, and then you actually go. And I think the sharing that happened in that group was extremely powerful. So, we felt connected. There were so many common issues, and, it was great to celebrate each other's breakthroughs. I think that
Yeah.
was fantastic. So
That
I feel like, yeah,
So that is one of the things about these group workshops that we generally do have. I mean, say I
yeah,
myself have been, a part of many, and
right,
that collective breakthroughs as well as one learning from another is, and sometimes just listening to the other person makes you have your own breakthrough.
yeah, very true.
So that community really helps to kind of enhance our own life in many ways.
Absolutely,
Uh,
I agree with
so how would you say that you're going to take this forward now? I would love to know how are you going to take this forward for yourself?
you. See, the one deal is I actually got a couple of miraculous kind of results within a couple of days, and they were unintended, but I guess maybe I was sending the signals out, and it happened in actually the arena of fundraising that we were talking about. So there was a particular, just if I can share that, there was a particular donor we were dealing with since almost April, and there's a donor in the US, and there was some bureaucratic kind of stuff which came in. So it had dragged on, and I was feeling extremely embarrassed because the delay was from our side. And I said, I'll be happy if that first thing even goes through. And then suddenly, I think it was on a Sunday, sorry, it was, I think, during the workshop sometime, Friday or something, or Saturday. I suddenly get a mail from them saying, well, we have decided to double our donation. And that was totally unexpected. And I said, where's this coming from? That happens. And, that was one thing. The other thing was I was actually in talks with an organization. They wanted to actually do something with us in this year. And it was the preliminary stage. We had given a kind of a proposal and all that. And I said, okay, this is good. And now what's happened is It's like they've now come to me just 2 days ago, and what they're proposing now, it's a humongous increase in what they were talking about. So in
Right.
terms of actually monetary support, it's almost 5 or 10 times what it was earlier. And believe me, there was nothing we had done to even negotiate with them or suggest to them they do something. So these are two things which have happened within just during the workshop and within a couple of days of that. So I don't believe in coincidences. So I think this workshop really has had something to do with it. So the only thing I need to do, I guess, and not get into the trap of one workshop after another, is to make
Yeah.
sure that I keep using those techniques to get that
Yeah.
conversation going. That conversation which actually has been creating those blocks in my life.
Yeah.
Letting that go and keeping this positive conversation going, and
So
keeping that
what you are
attraction.
saying right now, so basically the way it works is as soon as your energy shifts, things in your life also begin to move, and
Yeah,
therefore the inward and the subconscious, whatever chatter you're having there, uh, changing that really makes a huge difference.
very true.
So
And even the health one, I mean, see, I worked on the health part, I think, through the whole workshop. Though, of course, this money thing has always been a part of it, because that is a part of what I do. And since Sunday, my health has been miraculously good. My aches and pains have gone. Of course, there was something else I was doing alongside, but everything went in tandem. But it, like, overnight, aches and pains gone. Things are like kind of. I mean, it's amazing, and the kind of energy and excitement I'm feeling these days is a lot more than I've experienced in the last few months. So yeah, I mean,
that's
it's been a
great to
wow
hear.
experience.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been wow. So,
yeah,
what I just want to recommend is that, like you said, you don't want to get into the trap of doing workshops after workshop.
yeah.
You have the recordings for the 5 days.
Yes,
You can just keep
yes,
going through them
absolutely.
and just keep reworking. Just doing the whole thing over and over again is
Yeah,
just going to kind of help you to shift something more and something more and something more.
that'll be great.
So
Yeah.
it just works like that till, you're just creating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be great. Yeah, the great resource to have. And I think I don't know. I think it's a kind of. I think we still need that practice, I guess. I mean, 5 days we've been introduced to it, but that practice is
Yeah.
important, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, practices then your part of your end of keeping yourself steady on that ground that you've created for
Yeah.
yourself now. Yeah.
So it needs to
So
get internalized, I guess, till it becomes a habit, I believe. Yeah.
so I would say it already is,
Hmm.
because it's already showing.
Yeah.
So now you just have to multiply it, like the questions that provided. If you saw on the WhatsApp chat group, Rishi put
Hmm.
up a question today about out creating.
Yeah.
So if you just continue to use that on a daily basis, it will just you just outcreate yourself. So
What I really loved about this, I mean, outcreation is a super concept. It's like mind blowing. And what it really, one thing which really, I mean, now that I remember it, one thing which stood out for me is that our habit of doubting. Even when
right,
something good is happening. For example, like I've stopped myself a million times since this offer came in from both these organizations, and we're thinking, oh, really, this whole thing of, is it too good to be true? And then to changing it to, no, I deserve it. I like,
yeah,
we deserve it. All right, that this is required. We need this, or we're gonna have this. It's great, and I think that's something. It was a very outcome of the workshop. It's like
yeah. I
we
remember
want
that
to
we
receive
did
the
that
gifts the
entire
universe give
exercise
us.
of I deserve it. We had done that.
Yeah, I
I
deserve.
remember.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like it's like we self-doubt even the gifts the universe gives us. So
yeah,
it's amazing how that changes itself. So
yeah.
yeah, thank you for that.
I think just keep on using that, and things will just continue to change. Yeah.
Yeah,
Before we
absolutely.
exit and end this, would you like to say anything else, Naresh?
No, I think I frankly, I mean, I've not really done any such like this COVID period, this lockdown period. Most people have gone onto the net and done 100 things, and I wanted to do that, but for some reason, there was a tremendous increased workload, and in fact, that caused some of the stress, which caused the health issues, etc., etc. The whole darn thing. So this
Yeah,
was the first one that I actually did in this entire 3-4 month period. And why this and not any technical one? I mean, I keep looking at that because, like I said the other day, there are about, 5 workshops and 5 things you get every single day in your mail.
Right.
But I guess, so I think for me, it was like, it was providential that I would do it. That wasn't a priority for me. That wasn't, but I think it was a priority, but I didn't know that. And that itself has led me to, I'm seeing stuff now, and I've gone and actually gone and, a couple of books showed up, which I kind of, and it just fell in line with what I was thinking, and it showed up, and I've gone and, actually gone and purchased those books and
Right.
stuff like that. So it's like, things are showing up in a certain way, which I didn't have happening before. And so I think this is an entire clearing which you have created, through this workshop, that's causing things to occur in line with what I think I need, or the body needs, or through me, maybe the universe needs, or whatever. But
So basically,
it's
you have
amazing.
aligned with the you've aligned completely with the universe, right? So
I
things are
guess
showing
so.
up.
I guess so. And yeah, I think so. That so it's, you feel in flow. You absolutely
You are
feel
in
in
flow.
flow, and that's awesome. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Thanks so much, Naresh, for your time, and
My pleasure.
I was so
Thanks,
happy to have you.
Arti. It was a pleasure, and it such a lovely bunch. I'm glad we are still planning to keep in touch, because I think that was a special bond we shared.
Yeah.
And thanks to you, I mean, the way you conducted it, the way you were relaxed and smiling, and the way you explained everything, and allowed us space to even, I mean, I talk a lot, so in the amount of time you allowed us to talk and share, and and yet it was okay. You were not ruffled. You completed what you had to do, and and we still felt that we got our money's worth and much more. And thank you for that. You've been a
Thank you
blessing.
so much, Naresh.